What's up, Podcast Land? Episode 119 of the Behind the Barricade Podcast is brought to you by Silence and Solitude. Based out of Southern New Jersey, Silence and Solitude is a metalcore quintet that consists of Shane Roxas, Colby Hempel, Cody Mitchell, Alexander Coates, and Justin Pomper. The band formed in early 2015 and made their debut in September of the following year, 2016, having spent the previous year writing and recording. Well, what did that lead to? Well, their debut album, Resurgence, which came out in December of last year, 2016, and it debuted at number 20 on the iTunes Metal Charts. Debuted! They're a local band, and they went from 0 to 20. And I don't even think it works that way. All right, they went from like 1 million to 20. Yeah, you get it. I mean, 20th in the entire world of metal. That's pretty fucking awesome. They have also released music videos for their singles Suffering, Deceiver, and for the cover of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. I didn't want to do it too loud. It is what it is. But if you don't want to take my word for it, and you don't want to take the band's word for it, and you're just being a stubborn asshole, well, what about New Transcendence? They said that Resurgence is a must-listen for 2016, without a doubt, especially for fans of metal and its subgenres. If you're looking for something that is emotionally powerful, but not too whiny, aggressive, but not hate-filled, and will stand the test of time, this is the album you've been searching for. For more information, visit www.silenceandsolitude.com. Episode 119 is also brought to you by 627. Imagine the Foo Fighters and Muse stuffed in an underground studio during the nuclear holocaust with nothing but Weezer and Radiohead albums to session. Well, if you can't think of it, now you can, thanks to 627, delivering the attitude of an underdog and the punch of a champion. 627's chunky guitar riffs, charismatic vocals, and emotional solos are the most beautiful ass-whooping your ears will have ever took. I don't know. Past, present, future. There's an ass-whooping there, thanks to 627. For more information, hit up dub7records.com. That's D-U-B, the number 7, records.com. And then you like them on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/SIXTWOSEVEN, and then the numbers 627. Because, God forbid, Greg and his boys do it that easy. Just kidding, Greg. You're awesome, and you paid a lot of money for me to say this and bash you all at the same time. But I do it out of love, and I think that's the most important thing, right? It comes from the heart. Even if you weren't paying me a bunch of money to do this, I would still do this for you. Because that's how awesome I am. But, alright, enough being a jerk off. Well, for now. And lastly, the Behind the Barricade Podcast is pleased to tell you all about the Golden Hearts Festival that we're sponsoring, and it's taking place August 9th and 10th at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. It's a new festival that promotes the best New York City and New Jersey local bands. On day one, you have bands such as Jinx, Born Anew, Trace Your Steps, The Harkening, Refinement, Iridian, Ender, and Idle Minds. And day two, you have In Loving Memory, you have Monument of a Memory. You have no other bands that have the word memory in it. You have Zoom, you have Shallow Views, Champ, Approaching Troy, Anahata, and Varsity. All on one bill, all over 2 days. It is just absolutely incredible. And tickets are on sale now, but instead of going to Live Nation or Ticketmaster or whatever Gramercy Theater is under, hit up the bands. You know, talk with one of the bands, say, hey, listen, I would love a ticket to the show. You know, buy from them. Because that's the only way that local music is going to thrive. It's not going to be over Ticketmaster or Live Nation. It's going to be from the fan to band contact. So do it. It's only $16 for each date. Come on out. Support your local scene. And by local scene, I mean the New York City scene. Because obviously you can't support the LA scene in New York. And vice versa. But you know what I mean. And yeah, this is episode 119 featuring Call Me King, and it starts right now. From out of the wasteland of generic podcasts and radio shows, one has emerged. It prides itself on having conversations with the most talented musicians from all over the world. If you like a boring question and answer interview, this isn't for you. If you want deep conversations about anything and everything, you've come to the right place. Your new favorite show starts now, and its name is Behind the Barricade.
What's up, Podcast Land? This is Daniel Tao for another episode of the Behind the Barricade Podcast. On this episode, I'm talking with Call Me King, a post-hardcore band from Austin, Texas. We go over a bunch of things, including them working on their music for their new album, which they're probably going to release later next year. We go over a European trip that one of their members went on. We go over recording techniques, playing techniques, or kind of ideologies certain musicians fall into. And we also go over the battle that they're currently in for Warped Tour. Well, without further ado, I present to you Call Me King. Let's do it. You guys recording like a new album or something?
Yeah, we're working on some demo tracks for a new album we're going to be going to the studio for later this year.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So is it for like a full album or for like an EP or something?
We'll be doing another LP later on this year, going back to the same dude we went to the first time. Mm-hmm. Good friend of ours named Jordan. So Jordan.
Does he have like his own studio or something?
Yeah, he runs this studio called Glass Arrow Audio in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And he's a phenomenal guy. Really made our first album come to life, in a manner that we were looking for. He made our vision come true. He's great at it. So we're definitely going to go back to him, and we're super stoked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Love that guy.
Now you guys are from Texas. You're traveling all the way out to Ohio, or?
Yeah, that was kind of we discovered Jordan through an odd series of events. Basically, we were told, "Hey, you guys now have the opportunity to be recording with Craig Owens from Shooters." And so we contacted him. We ended up scheduling days. This was literally, we got days scheduled in either late October or early November. And we had to go into the studio in January. We didn't have the album finished. We didn't ready. But we're like, this is Craig Owens, so we're going to do it. Mm-hmm. And Craig is like, I've got 3 studios I work with. We're probably going to do this one in Toledo. And that's how we met Jordan.
Mm-hmm. So now do you guys feel like you're going to do anything different on this new LP? Or are you going to kind of stick to like the same formula or something like that?
Dude, it's going to be, the goal is to make it drastically different enough while still like at least holding some sort of true to our own sound sort of thing. I guess we haven't super established exactly what the sound is, but mm-hmm. we do what we like, and what we like kind of expresses itself. Mm-hmm. Since we wrote the last album so fast, there's so much stuff that we wanted to do, so many like risks we wanted to take and try to figure out and make it make work in some of these songs, but we didn't really have the time to do so in the last album. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be, in this next one, there's basically going to be some more risks taken and stuff. Like, let's experiment. Let's see what we can do if we try to do this way, or just kind of get out of our comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Since so much more time to actually write these tracks and stuff.
Yeah, so you're not going to just limit yourselves to kind of sticking to the same formula. You're just going to push it, which is good. Obviously, it's going to be different. And so you're basically saying you want to stick to, so people will still recognize your style and sound, but it'll just be a little bit different and unique.
That'll definitely still be there. They should still recognize us. I don't see any reason why not. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely going to be like, wow, Call Me Kings, they do more than what we're used to,
Yeah.
For example, we done one song yesterday for 4 hours. That's probably as long as we spent writing a song beginning to end on the first album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it was like, well, by the time Ruben got back from his 2-year trip to England.
Oh, it wasn't that long.
Month and a half.
I did find out that we were we were actually going to the studio and recording while I was overseas. It was ridiculous. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
So when he got back from that, it was like we had about a month and a half to record an 11 song album.
And I was broke because I just came back from Europe.
Yes, it was fun. But what ended up, like, we would just sit down and play through the songs over and over and over. But each song we probably spent maybe a day on. This song right here, we've already spent more time than that on, and it's not done. Like halfway through.
Dude, we spent 4 hours on a bridge.
Yeah,
we really did.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that it is.
So now, what was the reason for the European trip? Just like vacation or something?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to, and I was, as far as I was concerned, we weren't making any big plans to go record at a major studio or anything like that. So I was all right, I've got a chance to do this. I'm gonna go, see the world, and it was awesome. It was great. I loved it. It was very sort of like fast trip. It was over the course of 3 weeks, but we were in 7 different countries and like 13 different cities.
Damn.
So we were only spending a day or two, and it was an awesome experience. I'm glad I was able to do it.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. I mean, I know a group of my friends went on like a European road trip, I guess you could say, going to like Switzerland and like Amsterdam and all that. But yeah, I mean that's cool. Sometimes you only have like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you did it. So you could say that more than a lot of people.
I definitely have plans. I've got to go back. I didn't get a chance to go to Spain. I really want to go to Spain. I want to spend some more time in Italy. Explore around like Ireland and Scotland. Those are just like a few places I wasn't able to get to. Most of the major points though, we did Norway, Germany, France, Italy, Amsterdam, and London. Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
In Spain, would you go to like Barcelona or something?
Oh yeah, for sure. Barcelona, Madrid, and what's the one right at the Strait of Gibraltar?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm horrible with geography.
That one, I want to be able to. No, that's in Portugal, isn't it? I don't know. Well, whatever. I go to Portugal too.
That's in Greece.
What?
It's in Greece, right on the border.
At the Strait of Gibraltar. That's the inlet to the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
Asking from the Atlantic Oceans.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Spain, Greece, right here. Inlet. Border.
You're crazy.
Dude, okay. I'm using logical words. These are terms that make sense.
Yeah. Well, you guys know, it seemed like you know a lot more about like European side of geography than I would ever know. That's just like one thing, like in school or whatever, I just don't really care to pay attention. As far as like continents and like locations, obviously, you know, where like Europe and South Africa and shit like that is, but I don't know.
I will tell you 100%, I was the nerdiest little kid. And I had the Geo Safari Globe. And what it would do is they would ask you questions and you'd have to like find the answer on the globe. That's the only reason I know anything, and I don't know.
Yeah, that never happened to me. It was just basically like here's the continent, you know, here's the world. There you go. Hopefully you memorize it.
Yeah, I'm basically the same thing. I see continents, but I have no idea what all the countries' names are. Anything.
Yeah. But so now, like when you were overseas, I mean, it was only 3 weeks, so obviously you had time to catch up. But did you get sent anything? Like, did you guys send over demos or guitar tracks or anything like that?
We did a very small amount of that. I think we sent over like 2 demos.
I think because we talked to Henry, right?
Oh yeah, I think he was talking about us sending demos to Ruben though.
No, so they didn't really send me anything, but we had already been working on some stuff because we had obviously planned to record at some point, so we had started working on things. Plus, like we had, I think we played our first live show together like
3 days before we left or something.
Wow.
Before I dipped out. So I knew most of the songs we were going to record already because we already had 5 or 6 songs pretty much about 85% done because we were playing them live.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed to write a few more and then really kind of just write out the rest of those, what we were using for our set list.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back, we all sat down, hashed out the last few ones, and then recorded some quick demos on this thing. They actually, it's my other laptop that doesn't exist anymore. But we recorded some quick demos to use for like pre-production stuff. So it made life a lot easier once we actually got to the studio. Because doing 11 tracks in 15 days would have been impossible if we didn't already have scratch tracks and all of that set up when we went in.
It was still almost impossible.
It was still pretty close to it. Yeah.
So now when you guys write, do you just like go to your rehearsal studio and jam out some stuff, or do you guys do the mobile shit where you like write some riffs at home and send the guys stuff and then they'll work on it separately and then get together at rehearsal and practice it?
The three people you're talking to would be Joel, Ruben, and Zach. We do vocals, rhythm, guitar, bass. This is kind of the core writing group for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We usually get together and we work out the structure and format of the song. Like, what is the goal of the song we're working on? What do we want it to do differently than the other songs? And then once we sort of have the foundation, then we'll bring in the other guys and go, okay, this is where we're taking this. How would you put your spin on the drums or the lead guitar? Or where do you see extra vocals, strings, the extra stuff?
Yeah.
And that's honestly the biggest area where we didn't get to put as much time as we wanted on the first album. Is that extra stuff. We were scheduled to have a full day of pre-production on the first, or post-production on the first album. We got about 30 minutes because everything ran so late. But that tends to be our writing process. Is usually the three of us will kind of get together, details of the song when it comes to how does this song work, and then everybody takes it and they. Like, whatever part Zach wrote yesterday is going to change. He's going to different, edit it. I'm probably going to edit the vocals. For example, I just kept on repeating the same words the entire time we were tracking, like, with different tempos and different pitches, because I'm not great at making up lyrics in my head.
He's no Jack Black.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So that's what we'll do, and then everybody sort of creates their own stuff, and then you kind of come together and rewrite it almost with all the edits and everybody there.
And that way, the different performers, like the other two people are the drummer and the lead guitarist, who have largely performance-based roles anyway. So it's at that point they get like a fresh perspective on the song whenever they get it. So have a sort of perspective of someone who hasn't been like busting ass on a song like this entire time. They can just like jump in and be like, oh, well, what if we did this? And we're like, we never even thought of that. And then a million times better right off that.
That usually takes place like our house. Zach and I are roommates. We live in a house that has a garage that we turned into our rehearsal space and stuff. It's a pretty sweet setup. It's a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah, it's lucky.
Yeah, we also do some like I do recording over there. He does too. Like we're audio engineers as well. So like we have our own little recording setup and such. It's actually a pretty nice setup.
It's getting pretty new.
Yeah. It's getting a little closer to that professional level. So usually like we'll sit down with an idea at the house, maybe like track some little ideas, layer some stuff together, kind of really quickly throw a scratch together of it just to get ideas down and flesh it out piece by piece, like that song Piece by Piece. And then usually once it's pretty established as a whole song, we'll take that into the rehearsal space and get everybody together, learning the song and stuff. And like the more we rehearse it, especially on the first album, after we had written a lot of stuff, the more we rehearsed it, the more things would change, the more we get ideas for how to do interesting things like the breeze. Well, that was live. What is there's stuff like there's different little bass fills and stuff and harmonies and just different little things that only happens because we spent so much time rehearsing it and like just playing through it and seeing how it felt in a live setting, like the bass solo in Death and stuff. That only happened because like I didn't have a part in this one section, and I was like, well, what if I did? And I just kind of improv something, and it just like clicked really fast, and it was great. And then it became a solo at the end of the song that transits into the very next song, and it's excellent. It's the bass solo.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like in all the past bands that I've been in, basically how the song starts is like the guitar player is the primary person.
You got the jokes, man.
Sorry. Go on.
Did you guys still there? Or?
Yeah,
we're there.
All right. Now I just heard that outburst, and I'm like, maybe something happened.
No, I'm stupid.
He's making stupid puns about. You said basically, and he said ha, basically.
All right, I get it now.
Joel's just like
I'm really
ADD, ADHD.
Yeah.
I think that's like that could be an alternate name for the band. Honestly, I don't think that there would be any argument.
Hey, it's a popular search term. If there's no band out there, you might want to change your name.
Right? You have to get a lot more punk very fast.
Yeah,
That's okay. Yeah.
But
What were you saying?
well, anyway, back to my point. In all the previous bands that I've been in, it's the songs have always started with the guitar player coming in, and this is my riff, and obviously they write lyrics and melodies later, and then I'd play drums. But in the band that I'm currently in, the guitar player basically writes everything with like drum programming, and I'll kind of play the beats similar, but I'll obviously add my fills and all those things. So it's something I'm not used to. So I think you guys were mentioning that, like you kind of would write some things and have them come in and get like a perspective on it. Do you do that as well, where you like kind of write the drum parts out and like, oh, I'm feeling this beat, and then have the person just kind of change it?
So I can write drums. I can't play drums. And I have all the software I need to actually just like MIDI out drums with samples and such. So like we've got 2 songs that we've been working on for a little while now that I completely wrote all the drums for and stuff. Sam, once I get it out to him, and so I sent one of them to him last night. Once we sit down and actually start learning those 2 songs, like he's gonna have complete say in what changes and the such. But like I wrote drums for those songs already, just because like
just placeholder stuff.
Yeah, it was basically as a placeholder because I was like I had these ideas in my head for how drums could interact with the riffs, and it kind of helped push the writing process along. Once I actually laid out some drums right there, so I just went ahead and did that. And like after I showed Sam liked most of it. He's like, I dig this. This sounds fun. I'd love to play this sort of stuff. So I don't imagine a lot of it's going to change, but he's definitely going to give his own personal flavor and groove to it, which will be great. But yeah, we definitely like I'll write out drum parts and stuff, and definitely lay down like drum ideas we have, because I hear I'm worse at writing bass. Terrible, because that's what I play. But when we're sitting down and writing, I hear like so many other different things going on. Like I'll have ideas for production sort of stuff. I'll have ideas for like little lead lines or harmonies, pianos, drums, little vocal stuff going on. I have all these ideas, and so like being able to get them down on here and then play around with them is it's definitely, I love it.
Now, what program do you use for the drums? You use like Easy Drummer? Or?
I just recently got Contact and a set of drum samples called I forgot what they're called. Bo Devil by Panda Sound Studios.
Mm-hmm.
It was suggested to me from the Joey Sturgis Tones forum, and I went and listened to them, and holy crap, they're phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
They are absolutely phenomenal. But before that, I was using a custom built drum sampler and stuff that I put together and I built within Reaper. I found and downloaded like 1,200 some odd samples,
Mm-hmm.
and then compiled them together inside of Reaper to turn them into a MIDI drum sampler. And it took me like 12 hours to do and
Damn.
put it all together and route everything. But once I got it down, I was like, all right, this sounds pretty good enough for demo material and the such. And then like it was just yesterday I listened to these drums because somebody was talking about them on the Sturgis forum. I went and listened to them, and like they were only $30, and I was like, yeah, these are amazing, way better than what I spent 12 hours doing. And like I could spend 5 minutes and have all of this right here. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that, and it sounds so great. I love it.
Damn.
And which then inspires me to like write more and cooler drum parts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Drums sound awesome. I want to play with them, you know?
Yeah, and it's fun. It's actually funny. The reason I brought it up is I just built a literally like kind of customized it completely. I built an electronic drum kit for my apartment, and I actually attached it to a Superior Drummer 2.0. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but dude, the freaking samples and the drums sound freaking amazing. It's like it's almost it's basically if you were to record your drums in a studio after like layering and processing and all that shit, it like basically sounds like that. You could get it to sound like that at least.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And being able to do that on an electronic kit, like that's
So helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, well, you know, going in and recording your drums in a studio, I could basically do that anytime I want in my house. I mean, it cost me a bit of money. The program itself originally is like $300. Obviously, now you can get it for like $175. And then the kit obviously cost me quite a bit of money to build. But after everything's said and done, like you could get like a shitty $500 drum set. You could hook it up to Superior Drummer, which is like $175, and for like $700, you could always have professionally sounding like recorded drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just so awesome.
Yeah, and it's sick. Like eventually, you're not even gonna need to go to a studio. You can do this shit all by yourself.
And that's honestly like, we're pretty close to the point right now with our own recording and such where we almost don't need to.
Mm.
But working with Jordan's going to be helping produce this album as well. So he's going to get his own artistic input on the album and how we do things and such. Plus, like I think for us, that's going to help keep that's going to help keep some congruency across the albums that we do. So there's still that sort of that production
Signature
value.
sound.
Yeah.
Like you can still feel that it has our own flair to it because we have someone who worked on it previously. So that because a lot changes in like a year and a half. So if it weren't for having that one other person, on top of that experience, we might sound completely different. Because like just the demos we've been writing recently, it's gotten a lot darker. So I feel like we might end up being a metalcore band.
Hey, I like metalcore.
I mean, metalcore's not bad. I'm not saying
There's nothing wrong with metalcore at all. Where we're at in the San Antonio area, there's an oversaturation of metalcore.
A little bit.
And it seems like every little high school kid, and they're great. They're they're such talented kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like every high school kid in San Antonio whose parents bought them a guitar or a drum set has put together a metalcore band.
Well, I mean, hey, it's like one of the most popular metal styles out there.
Yeah, and it works, and it gets them shows and stuff, and it gets them their friends love it and stuff. That's great. But kind of want to stand out a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny when I listen to your music. Like, tell me if you think this is accurate. I kind of got like a cross between Atari's and A Day to Remember mixed. I mean, it was a little heavier too. Like in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds like Atari's a little bit with A Day to Remember, and then like the other half of the song was just like heavy, and I'm like, there you go. This is that uniqueness that we were talking about before.
We haven't heard Atari's yet. That's a new one.
Yeah.
I think it might be because of the voice. Like I thought your voice, the voice was very similar.
Yeah, the one I usually get for vocals is Dustin from Thrice.
I can hear that.
One, and then it gets weird after that. Like that's like that one I hear and I'm like, all right, I can see that. And then it goes weird places. Like
Coldplay, yeah, you guys kind of sound like Coldplay. No, we don't.
Coldplay.
I had person say my vocals sounded like Claudio from Coheed, and that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I just go, "Oh, so you know nothing about this." Like,
have you ever listened to Coheed? Yeah, I can't hit that high pitch.
Coheed is my second favorite band. We're going to go see them here in a couple weeks. They're playing with one of his favorite bands, the Deer Hunter. That's going to be a phenomenal fucking show, dude.
Yeah. So we've both been listening to Coheed quite a bit recently, and that kind of makes less sense the more I listen to them. But yeah, I haven't heard the Ataris before. That one I can actually see. I can.
That's gonna make me have to go back and listen to the Ataris more now.
There you go. I gave you a project to do.
I've heard we've been likened to I the Mighty.
Yeah.
Our instrumentality has been likened to Coheed. Like there's a kid at one of our shows came up to me and was like, "Dude, the way you play bass, it reminds me so much of Coheed and Cambria." And I was like, "You don't understand how much of my life you just made right there."
I'm trying to be them, dude.
You are now my wife. I will do everything you ever want me to.
I do anything for you.
Because Mick Todd, the original bassist for Coheed and Cambria, one of my biggest influences. Like that's Coheed stuff is a lot of how I learned how to play. Well, it kind of took me from being like some kid who can play single notes at a time on a 4-string bass to, okay, I've got some fills, I know where to move. It kind of taught me how to move around the fretboard. I have no formal training whatsoever. I taught myself how to play bass. I don't know anything about theory. 85% of the time, somebody tells me, "Hey, play a C." I'm not gonna know.
Dude, it's difficult.
Yeah. So like I when I first moved down to the Austin area, I made some friends who were super into Coheed, and they were doing a little jam band project. They were drummer and guitarist, and they're like, "Hey, we need a bassist and stuff. If you want to jam with us, learn some of these songs and stuff." So I learned some Coheed, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is phenomenal!" It made me a way better bass player. Which is awesome, and apparently it should, like, that influence shows in the way I write, I guess. I like it.
Now, do you play with a pick or do you play with your fingers?
With the pick about 95% of the time, because I'm a nerd about tone, and
you like I could see that. So you figure it gets a better tone with the pick.
Yeah, I'm fully aware I could get a similar tone with my fingers. Proper technique, it's just way easier to do with a pick. So I use a pick about 95% of the time. There's some softer parts where I'll put the pick away and I'll use my fingers to just get that sound out and not really get the attack on there. Mostly on songs like A Silence of 3 Parts, in intros with really soft and that guitar. So not using a pick there. Just little soft parts here and there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like on one hand, I'm like, oh, you use a pick, like that's cheating, or when I look at a bass player and he plays with his fingers, I'm like, dude, that's sick. This guy's nasty. But on the other hand, I'm like someone who's totally down for like efficiency. If you could do something that's way easier and it's way better for you and it makes life much more simpler, then that's the best way. So if like And too, like I hear a lot of bass players that do play with their fingers, and sometimes you're just like, that kind of sounds like shit. You know, I know he's playing it awesome, but it's like muddy and you can't, and there's not a lot of clarity. So I understand that, like you get like that good tone with the pick.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, like, I hate elitist ideology like that and stuff. Like,
Yeah, sure.
You're like the biggest elitist in the room.
I hate people who apply that elitist ideology to me because I'm a hipster. So, like, man, yeah, I can do that with my fingers. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Good for you.
My forearm.
I do mess with him about the fact that he can't slap. Like,
to be fair,
opportunity,
because of this whole perspective that Ruben has, we were on tour in Nashville and we found a 14 he now hates forever.
like, we were at a music shop and he just we were walking around like trying out like acoustic basses and stuff, and there's this 14-year-old kid with his mom that was in Nashville. So like, of course, this kid is like a freaking prodigy because we're in Nashville, and so he just starts playing like this insanely technical stuff, and Ruben's just like staring.
Go fuck yourself, kid.
I quit the band for an hour.
In my head, I quit.
Yeah, I was like, no, you guys can hire this guy. He can go around.
His mom's like standing over his shoulder, like, why are these 3 sweaty, greasy dudes staring at my 14-year-old son right now?
With hawk eyes.
The worst part was, like, they were in there, they were shopping for a bass for him, and for like straps and stuff. Basically, his initial first year and stuff, which is weird to me because, like, how was he this good? But I overheard them like weighing different options and stuff, and me being a bass player, and I have some years of experience in this, I wanted to give them a little bit of my insights. I was like, hey, look, you got these sort of things, I'll give you these sort of stuffs and all that, and I definitely suggest doing this, and from my experience. And they were really open to that and stuff. And we started chatting about, I was like, how long have you been playing, dude, and stuff. And I guess he said he was been playing for about a year.
Yeah.
And his mom was like, you should, like, it got into the conversation, like, we're a band on tour and stuff. And his mom was like, you should hear him play. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm totally down. He sat down and started playing, and I was like, all right, cool, I quit the band.
Do you want to join my band and replace me since I just quit?
Yeah. I've been playing bass for longer than that kid's been alive, and he's and that makes me sad.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same thing, he could be like, you know, we would compare it to like Asians, how they're like so structured and like strict. I mean, he could be like every day for like an hour to 2 hours just playing his bass. And on the other hand, too, does he really have the same experience as far as writing music? Like, yeah, he might be able to play you Under the Sun in certain areas. We'd be like, all right, let's write riffs, and they just might not be that good, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And also, too, with the kids like that, like, they also might have, like, a ceiling, you know? Like, I feel like you can't get, like, this kid might not get any, that much better. I know that there's this drummer out there, Tony Royster Jr. He was like one of the most popular YouTube videos for a kid because he's like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old black kid just playing like the craziest shit in front of like an audience of people. And now I see him, he's like over 20, like maybe 25, 30. And I look at him like this is nothing special what he's playing, you know? He kind of like, in my eyes, reached a ceiling.
Yeah.
And he you know, basically didn't go any higher than that in my eyes.
So, in conclusion, suck it, 14-year-old.
Exactly, you're nothing. But yeah, and you get that a lot with drummers too, like with like diddles. Like if you use bounce or and you get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I could play that with 1 foot. You play double bass." I mean, dude, to each his own. You know, however you play, I mean, it's unique to you. If you could play shit with 1 foot and I could play it with 2, I mean, there's a lot of shit like with 2 feet that's better with 1. You know, you could play fast double bass. You can't do that with 1 foot.
It's very interesting, like the different schools of thought you get for different drummers that grew up learning drums differently. Like, you grew up as a band kid, as a percussionist or something like that. You probably got your rudiments on point, and like you like all this like sort of stuff. If you're like a gospel drummer or something like that, you can just freeform an entire song out of nowhere because you're basically taught to play and not stop ever. So it's just really weird, like the different backgrounds that you get and like how that affects.
And you're Thomas Purgey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more like balance. I feel like in certain areas, I'm not like the greatest, but I feel like for me, it's about balance. Like, yeah, you need to be able to play double bass, but you need to be able to play single bass pretty well, or you need to learn like jazz a little bit because I can play jazz and funk and all that stuff, but I'm not the greatest at that. My primary music is metal, but I play hard rock. So it's like, I don't feel like, yeah, I could play like crazy 30-second notes, but I could also play jazz and gospel and shit like that. I feel like your thought needs to be in balance more than, oh, you need to play like crazy fast with one foot and not double bass. Like, you need to have balance. So I don't know how you guys feel with like balance and stuff like that.
That every guitar player signs up to play guitar to learn. Like, everybody goes in and it's like, oh man, I want to do that cool thing where you just like thing and make that
exactly
like, crazy fast sound. And I personally just can't really do that all that well. Like, I can do it like in short increments and stuff like that, and I feel like that's all I really need to, because you do it for longer than that.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, just like the constant sweeping just kind of like will drag on the listener after a while, unless you're a guitar player that can appreciate that sort of thing. But for me, I just kind of work around that and just try to say like, okay, well, I can't be as technical at this particular part, so how can I just write a particular riff or a particular set of notes that just sound easier on the ears? And I've learned to like craft more of my skill set around that rather than being blazingly, insanely technical all the time.
Yeah, having those sort of techniques and stuff, all that really impressive technical stuff, having that under your belt is cool. But if you can't actually apply it in a way that is musical, then who cares?
This comes down to the same argument that we've had with band members in other projects, sometimes band members in this project, where you got, okay, yeah, you're a skillful musician, but are you good as a band member? Like, are you good at writing a song? Because sometimes the song does not call for a complex guitar part. Sometimes it calls for like those three notes. Just those. We don't need all the other notes in between. Those three notes get everything done. And it's just a writing perspective that says, am I writing a part that will make me look impressive, or am I writing a song?
Work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah. You can fit right into the pocket that's created for you.
All right. So other than the technical aspects of music, I actually wanted to get into the Warped Tour battle you guys are in. Have you guys ever played Warped Tour before, or is this like your first battle for that?
This is our first battle for that as a group.
Yep.
Right now we're doing pretty decently. I do see we went down a couple spots, which I did not realize, but that's something that we're trying to fix right now and contact all of our people.
We take a couple of days to write some music, and all these other bands start working.
We're at 19 now.
Yeah.
We peaked maybe about a week ago at number 14 overall on the Play Warped contest. Number 14 in the nation. We've kind of fallen off a little bit. We're number 19 now, but that's still like we're heavily in the first page or the top page and the such. It's been going pretty well. We lead our market by a pretty decent margin. So of course nothing's guaranteed, but the way things are looking right now, I'm pretty sure we're going to be playing Warped Tour, which is going to be phenomenal. Like that's a huge opportunity for us. Last year, a couple of friends of ours actually won these contests. A band called Lifelike here in San Antonio won the San Antonio dates, and I actually just missed them. Like the line was so long getting into Warped Tour that I got in and got to the stage as they were getting off stage. I was really mad.
I was there for that too, and like we walked in and they were passing out like their download codes or something like that, or flyers or something, like as we walked in. And I was like, man, like this is like half the reason I came here.
Yeah. But then some other friends of ours won the Dallas date, this band called New Haven.
Who we actually toured with.
Yeah, we took them on our original tour, or on the tour for our album. Phenomenal dudes, love those guys, and they very much deserved it. So to be able to say that we've also done those things, and it's going to be a huge opportunity for us, and stoked, super stoked.
Also, getting into work for free is freaking nice.
Yeah, that's worth it in itself.
I'm actually I remember being pretty stoked for lineup this year.
Every time I die is back, right?
I am checking right now. I know my girlfriend's super stoked for CKY. WAR is going to be there, which is wild.
I'm not entirely sure
how I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Anti-Flag, Beartooth, stoked to see Beartooth. Bless the Fallen, I love those guys. I don't know, there's a lot of bands on here that...
I'm probably the only person in the room who's excited about this. I'm going to see Watsky. I'm into that.
Nerd.
Yeah, oh no, have I ever denied that?
No. Oh yeah, Hawthorne Heights too.
Yeah, I think I'm like more stoked to see I'm not. That's like Warped Tour is not really my style. Like last year, they had a lot of bands that were more my style, but for this year, definitely Hawthorne Heights and I forget one of the other bands you mentioned. But I mean, me and John, we go there and interview a lot of the bands. It's hard to get like interviews with the bigger bands, but we do a lot of the like touring bands that are lower. Last year was like Alisena or something.
Yeah,
we opened for them.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I think it was Alisena. They were mad cool.
What touring with when we opened for them?
Alisena, Oh Sleeper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Oh Sleeper.
Yeah, Oh Sleeper. I love that band.
They're awesome.
Sick. On a phenomenal live show.
Their guitarist is great.
Dude,
Yeah.
he is nasty.
Yeah.
Now, what for Warped Tour? You said that you guys were gonna basically. It looks like you guys are gonna be playing with the way you were. What position do you have to be in for that?
That's the thing. If you actually go to the whole contract page on Ernie Ball, here's what it says. All right, so the more points you have, the more consideration we're going to give you music. Unless we don't, in which case
we're assholes.
We're allowed to do whatever we want. Like literally, there's a spot where it's like, you know, the page that has all the prizes listed if you win the grand prize. If we don't want to do any of those, we don't have to.
Wow.
Like literally any single thing that's said on the website, if you look at the contract, they're like, this is at the sole discretion of the sponsor, and the sponsor can choose to rescind this at any point in time. So it's like nothing is set in stone, nothing is definite. On the other hand, if you look at the trends of who's won, usually only the first couple usually win for a city. First 3 or 4 kind of have a chance. In our case, the reason we'd say it's more likely is because at the last time I checked, it's a point-based system. The band in second place for the date that we're competing for, which is San Antonio, had about 500 points, and we had about 3,500.
Damn.
So there's such a huge gap there that I think we've kind of established, like, we're really going for this. We're putting in a lot of work for it. I think it's more likely, but it's still not that.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like, nothing's guaranteed. We could get passed over for anyone else, you know.
We don't want to be the hair in that story.
Yeah, the points are supposed to basically delineate the top 100 bands in a market, and like you have to be within that top 100 to be considered. There's not even 100 bands competing in each market, so like they could literally just look at anyone else and go, we like them, we like their sound, let's bring them on.
Yeah.
Hopefully that didn't happen.
Yeah, hopefully not.
It's happened before with this contest. But even if we don't win, this is done. This competition and being on the first page, along with several of our friends' bands, Worth and After the Calm, those sort of guys. Like it's kind of like helped
promote all of us, really.
Yeah.
And it's really us all kind of together to be like, hey, we're all trying to do this thing. Let's help each other out a little bit. Like
it's helped us network with a lot of other pretty big name bands in other markets, which will be helpful down the line, whether or not we win. And hey, we've got friends in Boston who that needed the play worked with us and stuff, and they liked our stuff, we liked their stuff. And now we're friends, So we can go play in Boston. We know we have somebody to play with.
Yeah, and that's actually hugely important. Booking the tour was insane. So any of these connections are vital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with the music industry too, like that's, like we interview a shitload of bands, and like a lot of them, they have like around the same likes that you guys have, but some are signed, some aren't. Like the way that you like get in with all these bands in the music industry is like you need to network. So if you guys have that where you want to network with other bigger bands or just network with people in general, like you have a leg up on a lot of local bands.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really interesting that you brought up that like certain bands that are like at the level we're at are like signed or not signed. And it's like, it's really hard to find the legitimacy in like the whole signed aspect at this point. We'll see bands that are signed, but like it'll be a label that like just started, or label that like doesn't really have like a whole lot of traction or has like a really bad track record or something like that. To the point, it used to be getting signed was like the goal. For a band to get signed and get music distributed. Now it's like the music industry is sort of using that want to get signed as like a means of making more money on top of it. And the positions kind of gets thrown back for them as well. So it's really an interesting climate we've sort of walked into.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry,
continue.
There's very quickly becoming less and less reason to be on a record label as time goes on with the industry now, which where we're at, I think that puts us in kind of a really prime real estate area, because we're doing so much on our own that most other bands would need a label for. And we haven't hit that ceiling. We haven't plateaued on what we're able to do yet. And for me personally, I see no reason to sign a contract with anybody where they're basically giving us their money in return for taking our sales and I see no reason to do that until we hit that plateau, until no matter what we do, we can't get that, we can't break that wall right there. Yeah. And that's where like a record deal or whatever getting signed would be useful for us. But especially as of right now at our level, we're already doing everything that a record label could be doing for us. So why that,
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I mean, I think that concludes the podcast episode. But before we go, just let people know where we can find you guys, and then any plugs you guys have. Just let people know.
It's all really easy. We are CMK. That'll find anything. We got Facebook.com/WeAreCMK, Instagram.com/WeAreCMK, YouTube.com/WeAreCMK. If you want to contact us directly, WeAreCMK@gmail.com. It's all the same. And anything that we have, that's the link.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for us literally anywhere, Reverb Nation, we are CMK.
All right, and then also we like to end the episode with a song of yours. So which one would you like to choose?
Oh God, Sycamore Lane.
Yeah, that's usually the go-to.
We have a song called Sycamore Lane. That would be sick. That's one of our favorites for sure.
All right, so let's choose that one, guys. It was great talking to you, and good luck with the Warped Tour. It looks like you guys are doing pretty well, so it looks like we'll be seeing you or hearing you guys play after being on Warped Tour. So good luck and congratulations. hopefully in the future. And I guess we'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
No problem, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too.
You too.
Can you see the forest for the trees? Can you divine the mysteries beneath? Can you still hear the whispering of each? You see the trees are somewhat similar